apparently. I don't really know how it's gonna go, but this is the element, all for the love of hip-hop, and I am very, very honored today. I am kicking it with M.anifest. He decided that I'm worthy enough. Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out. So we're gonna be having a chat with him, finding out a little bit more about him in this game and seeing if he's got game.
Yeah. Take all this from no one. Devil is a lie, I've been dope since 01. If you didn't want with two, better
So what brings you to South Africa this time around?
This time around, we came to work on a video with the Ghanaian artist called B for Bonus, so featuring myself. So we came to shoot that music video. So the song is called Devil is a Liar remix.
Oh yeah, I like that joint. I'll listen to it today.
Ah, really?
Yeah, I really vibe out to it. So tell me a little bit more about M.anifest. Tell me about your childhood, where you grew up, how you grew up.
So I was born in Accra, Ghana. I was a C-section baby. So that means I give my mother problems. She was probably relieved and excited when I came to. I grew up in Accra, in a place called Medina. My childhood, everybody likes to say their childhood is normal, but normal is so incredibly relative. But it was normal in terms of what a Ghanaian person would go through. I feel like going to school, middle class upbringing, still living in a place in which I experienced everybody in every walk of life. I was a happy child.
Really? What's your happiest and fondest memory from when you were a child?
That's not possible. It's too many of them. It's too many of them. But I was definitely an outside kid. You know, I used to do my homework before I go back home so I could play. Pick up the shoes immediately outside. So I think that routine was a very happy one for me. Whether it was football, whether it was running around, being mischievous.
What's the naughtiest thing you did as a child?
What's the statute of limitation on those crimes?
There is no statute of limitations, so we won't hold it against you.
I'm mischievous, but I think in relative terms, maybe not telling my mother that I joined like a professional football team for kids. You know,
Wow.
when she found out one day I came, she had locked the gates. Yeah, because most of the kids that team weren't necessarily in school and stuff. Hey man, I could have been like making, messy money.
Oh, messy money.
No pun intended.
But now you're making M.anifest money.
Oh yeah, man. Messy money is nice, man. Those weekly paychecks they give those football players, man.
So how did you then move from being a kid who liked football, joining this football club without letting your mother know? So obviously you have an avid love for sports and football. How did that transition happen then to you?
Well, I think I always had a creative angle to me. That writing and reading was something that personally I enjoyed very early in life. I was terrified of sharing my writing. So why? Hey man, I think that's what comes with gifts sometimes. When you are not fully formed as a person, we are not fully formed actually, but when you're not fully formed, I think it's terrifying to know what the world would think of your craft, whether you suck at it or whether you're good at it. So just kind of kept it to my chest. And then by the time you're in high school, gravitated more towards the music side of things. I always was in love with the music, so my writing, and I loved hip hop, so translated in being in my first rap group when I was in high school.
Why hip hop? What made you choose hip hop?
I think it was very immediate for young people. It was music that allowed younger voices to function, or even privileged younger voices over other voices. So it spoke to me a lot. I think it was fearless. When you're young, being fearless, things like that, it's like wanting to do things that are not accepted but daring. So I think that, and also it led me into different worlds. I think that one of the powerful things about hip hop is that when people are making it, they are speaking about lives and stories of places and people that you might have no clue. You might have so many thousands of miles, or you might be thousands of miles away from, but it leads you into those lives. So the same way, I guess I like reading, where it leads me into different characters. Maybe that's what hip hop did for me. I mean, I felt like I knew Brooklyn after listening to Biggie, Queens after listening to Nas.
Oh, yeah. Are those some of your favorites, or some of your favorite hip hop artists of all time?
Of all time, Andre 3000, Nas, Biggie definitely, Tupac definitely, Lauryn Hill's there, like Scarface.
Oh yeah? What are some of your favorite verses? Kick me a verse from one of your favorite songs.
Let me see. I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20. It's a blessing. The essence of adolescence leaves my body now fresh. My physical frame is celebrated because I made it. Yeah, that's nice. Life is a. We're supposed to edit, right?
Life's a bitch.
Yo. You right, Uncle Paul. So then, from then, it came to like Ghanaian artists like Obrafo, Reggie Rockstone, and then some of the early hip life stuff, which actually made hip hop very real to me, because not that it wasn't real before, but it becomes more immediate, and you're like, oh snap, Charlie, the thing is happening here. They're talking about this place I know. Yeah. I drove by there. Yeah. Mad. You know.
It connects people.
Connects you. Yeah. And it was a more immediate thing. So if hip life didn't happen, which was our first version of wave of homegrown hip hop, I don't think I could have had the guts to try it. You know?
Take me through the waves of hip hop in Ghana, because there's hip life, and then there's GH rap, and then somewhere in between there's some Afro beats, and people get it confused. People think that Afro beats is the hip hop sound of Ghana, but that's not really how it is. So take me through what you know of the history of hip hop in Ghana.
I'm not an authority on this. So those of you who listen to this and say, hey, he doesn't know, this is my version according to how I lived it. In the 90s, in the 80s, there were one or two things that never really bubbled up of hip hop. It didn't have a name yet. High life has always been the music, and since the 60s, 70s, that was our popular music form. So somewhere in the 90s, hip life became the first hip hop wave in Ghana. In terms of people creating and it being heard, and you know, it was I guess, for lack of a better term, it was pure, it was raw, it was all that, it was captivating. I don't know if there was money in it at that time. So high life was still running things, but hip life then morphed. So hip life, even in the beginning, was still more hip hop in terms of sonically, but then over time it really combined the high life and the hip hop. And it had the culture. I think it developed a culture of Ghanaian hip-hop, or hip-hop that was indigenous. The way we are as a people, I think we always needed hip-hop to have a very local, indigenous culture for it to feel like we belong to it, or that it was something interesting. So hip-life started that way. And then hip-life became more dancey things. And you know, they had like Jama, they had different hip life versions that had different names. You know, there was a Jama phase, there was some slightly crunk phase of it. Oh yeah. And so we went through an identity crisis.
As does everybody, really.
And then hip life kind of got killed off as at least that's what we call it. It got killed off. And then more different hip hop inspired, but dance waves came in, like then you had Azonto and all that stuff, and then you had Afrobeats coming now. But hip hop has always had an influence in all those layers of it. And then now it's like it all coexists, and it's like the naming only becomes a marketing tool. It's all music made in Ghana. Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible to have an intrinsically African hip hop sound? Because that's a narrative that's going around now. You know, people are speaking about, we want African hip hop, but do you think that we can actually have that sound while still remaining true to the fact that, you know, Ghana has a certain sound, South Africa has a certain sound, Zimbabwe has a certain sound? Do you think that it's possible for us to have an African hip hop sound or an African hip hop wave?
It is, and some of it is always happening, but we always have to remember that no popular music form in Africa is intrinsically or solely African. It's always been a fusion of things. High life had jazz elements, funk elements, and some traditional Ghanaian music elements. If you look at Kwaito here, it has some hip hop elements, different things, house music, Chicago, Detroit. We've always been linked to the world and to the black diaspora, especially, to be honest. And so now, so it is possible. We have to find creative ways to bring the vibes and sounds. So sometimes it requires the creatives for us to dig deep. You might go to your village somewhere and then you hear something, you're like, yo, that sound is interesting. How can I fuse it with something? So this is always happening. But I don't think it should be static either. It can't be static. If it's static, it's boring. So whatever name they want to call it, I leave it to the marketers and the smart people like this.
He said I'm smart. Okay. Winning, very pristine. So tell me then, what is on the cards for you now? You're internationally acclaimed. You've got awards under your belt, and you clearly love this thing. What is the next wave for M.anifest? What can we expect from you? How are you trying to do things a little bit differently as well?
Well, I think as somebody who's managed to do this for a decade or more, I have to seek greater originality and also break doors, not just for myself. So I found myself in a space in which every project or piece of work I do has to be either raising the bar, setting new standards, or breaking doors. Ghana as a scene, I don't think has quite gotten its due. We've been very creative, but I don't think that creativity has always reached the world in a way in which Jamaica is an island of how many people are managed to let the music do. So my role, I think part of it is to be able to break more doors, to almost be a cultural curator and be a creator that's fearless and making crazy left-leaning things that it's not supposed to be mainstream, but it is. So I think that's what my challenge is. A friend of mine called Radical is a producer. One of the things we say to each other is ultimately the ultimate thing you want to do as a creator is to almost create your own genre, whatever that means, without thinking hard, without forcing it. Not sitting there and just making up a name, but literally coming up with something that's like, yo, this is the way a fella came out and Doniana and people came with Afrobeats. Like this is a wave that is not even just a trend, it's just something new. So I'd like to reach that point. And at that point, I retire, hang up my jersey, put it on the wall. No, I'm kidding.
I think other people might put your jersey up on the wall. Tell me about the structures of music and hip hop in Ghana. I mean, in South Africa, there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of angry people. There's a lot of people who feel like your top 5 continually get recognition, get marketed, and get opportunities to go international. What is it like in Ghana structurally? Are there opportunities for people? And how would you like to see hip-hop changing there?
I think the Ghana music scene sometimes has infrastructure challenges in terms of it functioning, whether it's royalties, whether it's spaces to perform. There are these challenges that we have as a music scene in general. What I would want to see, I think there's so much more space for many of us to flourish at the same time. People doing different things, but the problem seems to be sometimes when one trend comes up, everybody succeeding. It's like, as you said, 5-7 people doing the same thing. Like all of this can coexist. Here in South Africa, you can have Zahara making it. You can have, Cresta. You can have. I think we need more of that, where we get spoiled for choice as a people, and we get all those vibes, and it nourishes us as a people. Like a culture-forward look on things, so that. And I don't know what the answer to that problem is, but creatives have to feel empowered and not feel like we always have to conform. Because when you believe, it's easier for other people to believe. If you don't believe and you're like, oh, if I want to be massive, I have to do this thing that is popping off now. If you feel that way, then why should I feel any different? So part of it is that. So part of it is a creative angle, believing in our value and believing in our vision. And part of it is other people in different aspects of it, whether it's in media or in music business, who also believe that there is actually great value in a diverse scene that is excellent in different aspects of it.